Here we are live again with Round 2 Wrestling. Thank you for tuning into this brand new podcast here on the 12th of April, 2023. I am your host, SlimmDa KID, and for those of you tuning in for the very first time, Round 2 Wrestling is very similar to a news broadcast. We have things broken down into 4 simple, easy-to-digest segments, and we will go through all of those extensively for you, the listener. Here on Round 2 Wrestling, we follow tradition very closely, and we always kick things off by taking a listen to the what-ifs and the maybes in the world. This is the Pro Wrestling Rumor Mill. Here we go. Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez said it's a countdown now to people being axed in WWE following the announcement of Endeavor's acquisition of the company. Tony Khan told Sports Illustrated that AEW is considering the idea of doing its own multi-day signature event similar to WWE's WrestleMania. Miro was backstage at Ring of Honor Supercard of Honor last Friday despite not being booked on the show per Fightful. That's led to speculation he could return to AEW television soon. WRKD also says the current plan is for the upcoming WWE draft to take place on May 8th in Jacksonville, Florida. That is a direct shot across the bow of AEW. Fightful Select says they've been told by wrestlers that WWE is in the midst of a hiring freeze. They don't know why, and it's not official, but it appears to be the case as of right now. This is the biggest rumor out there. Several news outlets have said the exact same thing Fightful has said, and WWE has also stepped forward and said they are not in any sort of hiring freeze. So conflicting reports coming out of the wrestling world. According to the Mat Men podcast, AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery are finalizing an agreement for a third weekly AEW TV show, which would run for an hour on Saturdays. There is no word on when the show would debut or where/when it would be broadcast. Alright, enough of the what-ifs and maybes. Plenty to think about over the next week, but we are going to move over to something a bit more real. This is actual factual pro wrestling news. Wow, that bell was a bit loud. YouTube sensation and WWE superstar Logan Paul has renewed his contract with WWE, reports Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens. The length and terms of this contract renewal were not available at the time of this broadcast. AEW and Austin Medelson, better known as Luchasaurus, are still in a legal battle with CFX over a mask design. Brandon Thurston of WrestleNomics reports that on April 7th, Medelson's lawyers filed a motion to dismiss the complaint due to their failure to state a claim. Last month, AEW filed a motion to dismiss 5 of the 6 accounts raised by CFX after they claimed similarities between a mask they created and the mask used by Medelson. CFX filed an amended complaint alleging Medelson had other mask makers create a similar mask to their copyrighted work. A lot of rumor and innuendo this week about Bayley after she was reportedly pulled from her WWE Raw segment shortly before Damage Control went out to the ring last week. WRKD Wrestling, a trusted insider Twitter account, tweeted that Bayley is available to use this week on Monday Night Raw. Former New Japan Pro Wrestling World Champion Jay White debuts for AEW after weeks of rumor and speculation. White, one of the hottest free agents of 2023, declared he is all elite on Dynamite this past week alongside Bullet Club member Juice Robinson. Clark Connors is sticking with New Japan. The promotion announced on Instagram that the company's star signed a new deal this morning and that fans should expect to see more of him following his breakout performance at last summer's Forbidden Door pay-per-view. Fightful Select reports that the new deal is for 1 year. Tony Khan, CEO and owner of AEW, made the announcement last week that AEW is bringing back its first ever pay-per-view, All In. Added to this announcement was the revelation that AEW would be making its United Kingdom debut with the All In pay-per-view at historic Wembley Stadium in London, August 27th. According to Wrestling News' Andrew Ravens, Impact wrestler Chris Sabin is celebrating 20 years in Impact Wrestling. A Pinckney, Michigan native, Chris Sabin debuted April 9th, 2003. Sabin teamed with Johnny Storm for a multi-team match against Jerry Lynn and Amazing Red, Jason Cross and Shark Boy, and Triple X. Sabin is a former Impact World Champion, 8-time X Division Champion, and a 3-time Impact Tag Team Champion, and the 6th Impact Triple Crown Champion in Impact history. Brian Cage will remain in AEW and Ring of Honor, according to a Fightful report on Tuesday. The outlet reported that Cage has signed a new multi-year contract to remain in the Tony Khan-owned companies. A good portion of news was dedicated to contract renewals and overall announcements. So for those of you looking for some sort of breakout, earth-shattering news, you're gonna have to wait. But we here at Round 2 Wrestling will always do our best to bring you the most up-to-date and accurate pro wrestling news available. With the conclusion of our news segment, let's move over to pro wrestling title matches and those results. We here at Round 2 Wrestling dug exclusively for these results for you, the listeners. So please take the time and enjoy. There are several title matches, so be sure to listen to Round 2 Wrestling again in case you missed any of your favorite promotion title matches. All right. Ring of Honor Pure Champion Katsuyori Shibata defeated Christopher Daniels to retain the Ring of Honor Pure Championship. Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena defeated Mayu Yamashita to retain the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. Akira defeated Lio Rush and MLW World Middleweight Champion Lince Dorado to become the new MLW Middleweight Champion. MLW World Tag Team Champion Samoan SWAT Team defeated the FBI and Main Event to retain the MLW World Tag Team titles. Delmi Exo defeated MLW Women's World Featherweight Champion Taya Valkyrie to become the new MLW Women's Featherweight Champion. Jacob Fatu defeated MLW National Openweight Champion John Hennigan to become the new MLW National Openweight Champion. FTW Champion Hook defeated Ethan Page to retain the FTW Championship. AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy defeated Dralistico to retain the AEW International Championship. AEW TBS Champion Jade Cargill defeated Billy Starks to retain the AEW TBS Championship. Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions the Lucha Brothers defeated TNT Champion Powerhouse Hobbs and QT Marshall to retain the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles. NWA United States Tag Team Champions The Country Gentlemen defeated Jack Steen and Blake Troop to retain the NWA US Tag Team titles. EC3 defeated NWA National Heavyweight Champion Scion to become the new NWA National Champion. NWA Women's World Tag Team Champions Missa Kate and Maddie Rankowski defeated Pretty Empowered to retain the NWA Women's Tag Team titles. NWA Women's Television Champion Tournament Finals. Kenzie Page defeated Max the Impaler to become the NWA Women's Television Champion. NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion Kerry Morton defeated Joe Alonzo to retain the NWA World Junior Heavyweight Championship. NWA World Tag Team Champions La Rebellion defeated Magnum Muscle to retain the NWA World Tag Team titles. NWA Women's World Champion Camille defeated La Rosa Negra to retain the NWA Women's World Championship. NWA World's Heavyweight Champion Cyrus defeated Chris Adonis to retain the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. IWGP Women's Champion Mercedes Moné defeated AZM and Hazuki to retain the IWGP Women's World Championship. New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV Champion Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Shota Umino to retain the New Japan Pro Wrestling World TV Championship. Aussie Open defeated IWGP Tag Team Champions Bishamon to become the new IWGP Tag Team Champions. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion Takahashi defeated Robbie Eagles to retain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Sanada defeated IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Okada to become the new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. MLW Tag Team Champion Samoan SWAT Team defeated Mance Warner and One Called Manders to retain the MLW Tag Team titles. WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Lita and Becky Lynch defeated Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team titles. NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Alba Fire and Isla Dawn defeated Fallon Henley and Kiana James to retain the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. A lot of gold was on the line this past week and weekend. NWA held a pay-per-view, as did MLW. So if you missed any of those titles and those matches, be sure to listen to Round 2 Wrestling again to hear who retained and who are new champions in the world. We are at the end of Round 2 Wrestling, and we are going to conclude this episode with a fan and producer favorite, Did You Know? Did you know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. You gotta love the bell. Did you know AEW World Champion Maxwell Jacob Friedman has wrestled more matches than Brock Lesnar has in his entire career? Currently, MJF has wrestled 485 matches, beginning his career in 2015. Brock Lesnar has wrestled 430 matches and began his career in the year 2000. Did you know Roman Reigns' current WWE Undisputed Universal title run is longer than all 8 of The Rock's WWE title runs combined? Did you know Cody Rhodes was the first wrestler to pin Roman Reigns to win a WWE Championship? Rhodes did it by teaming with his brother Goldust to win the WWE World Tag Team titles on October 14th, 2013. Did you know Larry Zbyszko turned down a starring role in director Wes Craven's debut feature film The Hills Have Eyes in 1977? Did you know the main event of New Japan Pro Wrestling's first ever show was Karl Gotch defeating Antonio Inoki at Ada Ward Gymnasium in Tokyo, Japan on March 6, 1972? Did you know Bianca Belair is the longest reigning black champion, male or female, in all of WWE history? Did you know Stone Cold Steve Austin's final match on Raw was against Eric Bischoff on March 17, 2003? Did you know AWA founder Vern Gagne was an AWA World Champion 10 times over in his 26-year pro career? Did you know Tessa Blanchard is the first woman to ever hold the Impact World Championship? I am SlimmDa KID. This is the conclusion of Round 2 Wrestling. Tune in next week for a new podcast.